Hello folks, it is December 6th, 2016, and we've got to talk about NICE Bus. As you know, the hearing is coming up on Thursday at 3 o'clock and 6 p.m. at the legislature building in Mineola. And as usual, NICE Bus always throws a curveball right before the hearing. Yesterday, I believe, they put up on their website the cuts that they will be making in January. Starting January 15th. And as expected, it would be all the service that was restored just last year. So it would be the, all those shuttle buses, Elmont Flexi, Rockville Centre Community Shuttle, Mercy Community Shuttle, Hicksville Wont Community Shuttle, Freeport Community Shuttle, and as well as the N80 and N81. But in addition to that, all the service to Jericho Quad would be eliminated, so there would be no more N48 shuttle to Jericho Quad, as well as the N6X midday service to Nassau Community College. And they said more cuts will need to possibly be made in April. So it would really start to look like the MTA's cuts at this point, this was in the news yesterday. The legislature met, Mangano suggested this, and the legislature so far hasn't stopped it. According to the article, Norma Gonzalez was quoted as saying something like, well, maybe things will improve between now and March. Yeah, but people are still going to be stranded in January, Norma, especially in the winter. Don't you care about that? She doesn't care about it. She's a tool of Ed Mangano as far as I'm concerned. She has not stood up to Ed Mangano at all on this. And it's obvious that Ed Mangano really, really wants to screw us now, especially that he knows he's going to jail. He wants to make sure he leaves his mark and messes up people's lives as much as possible. This man is a tool, all right? This man is one of the worst things to ever happen to Nassau County. I don't know how this man even sleeps with himself at night, knowing what he's done to us. Starting in 2012 when he didn't want to pay the MTA and started this whole mess of NICE Bus, which has been a disaster from the start. And the legislature is pathetic in not trying to stop him and not trying to restore this funding for NICE Bus because they cut $3.8 million from the budget. And it passed the Rules Committee. It hasn't been voted on officially yet. It will be, I believe, in a week or two. And I'm not sure, but I might be at that legislature meeting when they do vote on it. But then again, maybe I shouldn't, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to control myself. That's just how angry I am. So it is disgraceful. Norma Gonzalez has shown herself to be a real. I actually called her office today, and I just, told them how I felt. My own legislator in my own district, Laura Schaefer, I never even get someone on the phone. There's always an answering machine, so I left a message there. And I just said, you have some nerve cutting this money from the budget, when you could, find other ways to fill this revenue hole. This is a county, one of the richest counties in the nation. And let me tell you, I'm seeing so many more luxury cars on the road. They saw this coming for months and months, this whole budget hole for 2017. They saw it for months and months that NIFA wasn't going to let him get away with it. They saw this for months and months. And what could they come up with? They come up first $105 fee on all tickets. Then it's reduced to $55, and it's only for traffic tickets. And they come up with these cuts, like eliminating the $3.8 million for NICE Bus, when NICE Bus is already in a budget deficit for 2017. Already in a budget deficit. And eliminating funding for youth programs. That's what they come up with. That's what they come up with. All of these things are terrible. All of them. We have so many luxury cars on the road. And I said this at the last legislature hearing when this happened before. And I said, why aren't you having a tax on all these luxury cars? You want to buy a luxury car like a Mercedes, an Audi, you should be a fee. I would say, let's say a $80 registration fee on all luxury cars. So when you go and register a luxury car in Nassau County, you will have to pay $80, all right? And it will also apply to any gas-guzzling SUV, all right? So therefore, you're making the people who have the resources to buy these fancy cars and lease them, because the fee will apply on leases too, any registration. When you lease these cars or buy them, whatever, you're spending extra money, all right? People will say, oh, why these cars aren't owned? Those people aren't rich. Let me tell you something, all right? If you want to lease a regular car, it's going to cost usually you can get it for under $200 a month. But if you want a luxury car, it's usually $400. It's usually at least double. So if you have the money to spend double on a lease because you want to have a fancy car, then I'm sorry, you should pay a fee. You can afford it. These people being left stranded by the buses, they can't afford taking a taxi. What do you want them to do? Well, we already know the attitude. Sorry, the Long Island is no place for the lower income. It's no place for the disabled. You know, they need to leave. That's the attitude. That's the attitude. It's disgusting. It really is. So I did prepare a speech that I want to read to you, that I will read in front of the NICE Bus Committee on Thursday. Pathetic. That's what I have to call the way the county treats bus riders. You restore service, only to take it away less than 6 months later. You are playing games with people's lives here. It's almost as if this is some sadistic game with people who depend on buses. This is one of the most corrupt bus operations I have ever seen and experienced. All of you, except one, don't even rely on the buses. You do not even realize just how your actions are affecting innocent people. We did not create this budget mess, yet we are always asked to sacrifice while the county's wealthiest residents are not. Every day I see more and more luxury cars on the road, and somehow Nassau County cannot afford to run a quality bus system. Taking away this service will once again leave people stranded and forced to rely on walking, friends, or taxis, the latter of which has seen booming business under Ed Mangano. It's no wonder why so many signs have signs thanking him. Eventually, you will pay for what you are doing to us. Mangano is under indictment by the FBI, and it will come out how this contract for this bus system screwed the people of Nassau and its poorest citizens. This was a bad deal from the beginning. MTA knew what they were doing when they knew more money would be needed to preserve the current level of service and maintenance in 2011. NICE has never provided as much service compared to MTA Long Island Bus. On average, routes run less frequently. Take the N27, for example. Used to be every 30 minutes all day on weekdays, but now it's not. You guys deadhead empty buses all over the place. That's hardly efficient. And then there's the breakdowns, because you provide much less maintenance than the MTA. So riders have to deal with missing buses. The condition of the fleet is criminal. And then buying new shuttle buses for a service that's discontinued in less than a year, painting buses in a fancy paint job but not replacing parts till it breaks down, driving riders and fare revenue away by these cuts and poor reliability. I guess I too will be riding the train even more after these cuts. But I know this is all part of the mentality to make things so miserable for the lower incomes and disabled on Long Island, so we just leave. Well, I am going to stand before you and continue to fight against this agenda. You have no business running a bus system. Hand it over to the MTA and let it be run like the LIRR. Nassau won't fund the system, so they have no business owning it. And that's going to probably be my speech. I don't think I'll make many changes to that, but that's what it is. The MTA needs to come back. This has obviously been a huge disaster from the beginning. MTA needs to come back, and from what I hear now, and what somebody just emailed me, and it's not official, somebody just emailed me, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, and you can comment on the video if you want. Well, he sent me a message. He says that the Rockville Centre Depot will close permanently in April. It will close permanently. Now, I've heard rumors about this for a while because a bunch of rich people moved into that part of Rockville Centre and built condos and fancy apartments, and they don't want the bus depot there anymore, even though the bus depot was there before these people were. You know what? Fuck these rich people. I'm sorry, but fuck these rich people, all right? You know, I have to say, look, you can make as much money as you want, but it doesn't give you the right to keep ruining other people's lives. You know, you came along after the bus depot was there, so now you're going to want it closed. You don't want to pay more money for so people get stranded because you think you can just buy a luxury car and you don't have to pay your fair share because of it. Meanwhile, people who don't have $20 or $30 for a taxi are left stranded, and so they lose their jobs, and then they go on welfare, and that sucks even more money from the system. How stupid is that? How stupid are you? How stupid are you? All right? I'm tired of these people. I see them every freaking day, and they are multiplying like rats everywhere. These freaking fancy cars everywhere. I don't want to hear the county doesn't have money. We should have plenty of money with all this money here. See how angry it gets me? Do you see how angry it gets me? It's pathetic, all right? And like I said, I don't hate rich people, but I hate these kind of rich people that are moving in that think they don't have to pay their fair share. Screw the poor need to get out. Even though the poor have been on Long Island for many years, now they need to leave, you know, and all they want to have is the illegal aliens that work for them and wipe their butts and clean their lawns and all that other shit. You know, I'm tired of it, man. So let me get into some of these other news very briefly here, other stories here. There was a hearing yesterday for the Southampton Hills project that they want to build in the Pine Barrens, of course. We all know about that. There was widespread opposition. There's also another thing going on, which I just learned about. It happened a year ago. There's this beautiful site by the Smith Haven Mall in Lake Grove. It was an old school called the Lake Grove School. There were beautiful pines. It was an old building. Unfortunately, it got vandalized because it wasn't protected. And unbeknownst to me, they came in, knocked all these beautiful old pitch pines down, and now it's going to be more McMansions for rich people. Unbelievable. Those were historic trees, and they just cut them down like that. That's just unbelievable right there. You know, and then they want to do this in Southampton, they want to do that development, this development, they want to keep developing. They knock down trees in Old Bethpage for another development, more rich people development. You know, what about affordable housing? You know, all the poor and middle class are getting priced off Long Island, yet where the fuck is the affordable housing? You know, this is bullshit. This whole island is backward. And then we have some good news that I'll briefly show you, briefly talk about. The Yap, well, I did talk about it in the last one, the monthly update, but the Yaphank land was saved. The county legislature did approve that, so it's going to preserve, I think, 170 or 180 acres in Yaphank, which is great. But meanwhile, we're losing all this other stuff. You know, you compare to what they do in New Jersey, they preserve hundreds and hundreds of acres every year. You know, and they have so much more land to begin with, and we have so little, and we do so little, and it just gets lost. They are taking away everything that makes Long Island great. They are taking away our trees, they are taking away our transportation, they are taking away our services. Everything that makes Long Island great is being taken away. And even being a safe place, now it's not so safe. The crime is spreading because the ghettos are spreading. Westbury is in trouble. Westbury, I have my own battles. I had recently someone in some authority tell me at my agency that it's going to be very difficult for you to, get housing in a better neighborhood. Well, if things don't improve here in a year, in the next year, and I can't get anywhere, then I'm going to have to leave Long Island. I'm going to have to leave Long Island. I may be better off leaving, and it sucks because then I won't be able to fight for these issues anymore. But I'm a human being. I can only take so much of this abuse right now. So I want to show you basically Westbury train station. So let's look at some of these tracks at Westbury train station. And that's the other thing, the discrimination against Westbury. Look at the tracks and look at the area around the train station. It's awful.
So I thought that, that tie, it came off the track there. The tie is supposed to be bolted to the rail, but you can see it's not. Well, this is out Westbury. What do you expect? Oh my God, look at this tie. Oh, this tie is rotting through. Look at this. Oh man, look at this. Jeez. This is the main line. All right, this shouldn't be like this. You gotta be kidding me. You can actually see where the wood broke off that tie over there. See? Look at the condition of these tracks. God, it's such a depressing place to live. I mean, look at this shit. I just can't believe the condition of these tracks. When I see the Babylon branch, it's so nice and clean. Main line is disgusting. I mean, look at this neighborhood. Look at this neighborhood. This place is going out of business, by the way. See, Alexis and Gianni, they've been here for many years. They see the writing on the wall, and they're leaving too. Cars and everything. Look at that. Just look at that. What a ghetto. I'm sorry. That looks like a ghetto right there. Not service, of course. That's their building right there. And now let's look over here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. It's a gang tag. There you go. That's where they're leaving.
So hopefully the third track project will improve that. A third track project is one of. There are several things that can make my life better right now. All right, one, bus service preserved, which don't think is going to happen. I think we're going to see way more cuts in Nassau and Suffolk. Eventually, it will get so bad that the MTA will have to come back, but it's going to get worse before it gets better, in my opinion. And the second thing, my town improving. Maybe Trump comes in. Maybe he gets the ICE to come in, and I think, Trump may be just like holding his cards right now and not showing because the liberals are going to freak out. But hopefully when he gets inaugurated, the illegals start getting deported, all of them. All right, the ICE and the FBI, which are the head law enforcement agencies in this country, will come into places like Westbury, see where the illegals are, knock on doors, and start rounding them up. All right, that's what I think needs to happen. All right, and if that happens, then this town still has a chance to improve. It still has a chance to improve, but that has to happen because right now we're just inundated with illegals. It's horrible. All right. We're all over the place, and people are leaving. It's a ghost town, all right? It doesn't have to be this way. So maybe if the illegals go away, the town improves, and then I don't have to worry about the whole thing about trying to relocate. The other thing, of course, that could improve is, the town or me finding another place or, being able to get lucky and find another place. People were saying, hey, Trump, he was a long shot. People tell me it's a long shot. You're never going to be able to live in a decent town. You know what? I never took no for an answer, all right? And I'm not going to take no for an answer just yet. I'm going to fight for what I deserve and what is right for me, what is right for the lower-income people of this island, and I mean lower-income U.S. citizens, as far as people who aren't U.S. citizens, who are here illegally. Vamoose, get out, all right? You bring nothing good. You bring nothing but problems, gangs, you bring disease, you bring crime, you bring debt. You bring blight as people don't want to deal with you, and you're loitering, and you're pissing on the streets. This guy filmed some great videos in Newcastle, which is he refers to as Westbury, but it's really Newcastle. But this is coming to Post too. I've seen this on Post. Guys just passed out drunk in the middle of the day. Check out these videos. You see the annotations all above. Check these videos out. They're great. And it shows exactly what's going on in Westbury. This is exactly what illegal immigrants are bringing. They bring nothing but problems. And once they're gone, things are going to get a lot better, all right? So I'm hoping Trump does not give in and round these guys up, all right? They are criminals. They became criminals when they jumped the law, the fence. And as far as the babies that News 12 likes, the anchor babies that News 12 wants to bring sympathy to, well, you know what? They're still criminals, all right? They still need to go back, all right? I'm sorry. They need to go back. They need to go back and get in line. And they could become a citizen, but they've got to go back first, all right? And then get in line so all the people who've waited on that list, actual people who actually want to be Americans, actually have a chance to become, people who call these people immigrants. They are not immigrants. They are criminals. They are illegal aliens, all right? I see these people hanging around, gang tags, stuffing kids into our school district, and people say, oh, it's racist. Let me tell you what's racist. The fact that all these illegals are dumped in non-white communities on Long Island. None of the lily white communities have to deal with any of these problems. It's just the mixed communities and communities with immigrants and communities of minorities. They're the ones that have to deal with it. That's what's going on. That, to me, is what's racist, liberals. Anyway, that's it for this Piney News update. The next one, I guess, will be at the NICE bus hearing, and I hope there's a good turnout. Take it easy.